everyone. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are, and welcome to this week's Weekly Energy Boost. It's actually a mini episode of Weekly Energy Boost for the summertime. My name is Elisheva, and this week we are talking about little lifequakes. Weekly Energy Boost is a 7-day spiritual weather forecast where we provide our listeners with the most powerful and practical tools to navigate the coming 7 days, potential opportunities and pitfalls from the teachings of Kabbalah, and the wisdom and tools that we share are really timeless and can be used anytime. The reason we're talking about little earthquakes this week is twofold. First of all, we have the influence on Saturday and Sunday, July 6th and 7th, of the new moon of Cancer. And according to Kabbalah, the new moon is always an opportunity for us to plant positive seeds to manifest in the coming month. So we use the first 24 to 48 hours of the month to infuse positive energy with consciousness, meditations. And if you're able to join us for one of our live streams or in-person new moon connections, I will put those details on our website, weeklyenergyboost.com, for you to participate. But perhaps more importantly is the knowledge and the opportunity that exists to be as proactive, as compassionate, as mindful as you can in those 48 hours, so as to create a mold for the coming month so that you experience a better version of the month than was originally written out for you. The other idea, and we'll have the opportunity to talk about this in the coming weeks, but according to the wisdom of Kabbalah, there are 3 months of the year that lack the spiritual ozone layer that the other months have. And by calling it the spiritual ozone layer, you understand that it's a filter that the ozone is a filter that allows the sunlight to reach planet Earth in a non-destructive way. Spiritually speaking, the month of Cancer, the month of Leo, and the month of Capricorn lack that spiritual ozone layer. So there is a potentiality for the light force of the Creator to overwhelm us. And you would think, well, that doesn't sound like such a bad thing. The world is a pretty dark place and we could use extra light. But because of the lack of that filter, it can create a version of a sunburn or a barbecue. And I don't think any of us want that char. So the Kabbalists teach that in these months, so I'm setting you up now for this month and the month of Leo as well, to do more of what you already do to create an energetic cushion or shield around you, to do the things that you do that help you feel more plugged in, more connected, and more aligned. So for me, it is more meditation, more connection to the tools that I use that I use routinely, putting more intentionality, putting more time and effort, looking for more meaning and understanding to strengthen my connection to those things. It's really, it's the 2 months of the year, 3 months of the year, that it's most important to be your new moon self, I guess you could say, be on your best behavior and really not allow yourself to fall to your normal reactive behaviors, because your normal reactions are going to be, there's so much more light shining on those actions, they tend to be more painful. That's really, I've never thought about it that way, but that's really the reality, is that the impact of our reactive behavior in those 3 months can be much more impactful than in the months where we have that spiritual ozone layer. So it's something to be mindful of. And in that tone, that's why this is the great conversation to be having this week, because all of us experience little earthquakes in life and they serve a purpose. Part of the teaching around this week's energy is that, right, the challenges, and obviously challenges is a word that can be qualified, or we can qualify in the way, there are big challenges and there are small challenges, but without exception, according to the wisdom of Kabbalah, every challenge exists to help us get closer, both in our relationship and in our similarity of form with the light force of the Creator. Therefore, all challenges are really there to wake us up. And wake up, I think often when I ask people, what do you need to be woken up to? It's a very elusive question. And the answer really requires us to go deep and to be honest with ourselves about where we're at. Many times we have these little earthquakes, which can be anything from, near car accident, being fired from a job. I mean, it's literally anything can be a little lifequake, but we're not talking about the bigger life earthquakes. We're talking about the smaller ones. They often happen because we have become consumed with ourselves, consumed with our needs. I was just talking about this idea with someone, and he shared with me that, a little lifequake for him was when his mother passed away. And for some people, it might be a bigger earthquake than a littler earthquake. But what he said, he realized, even though he knows that it was her passing, it didn't happen to him, it happened to her. He realized afterwards how consumed he was with her well-being, how he was always afraid and worried about how she was doing. She was not well for a long time, and how much more time, space, and energy he had in his life afterwards, which really helped him reprioritize other things as well. That's an example of a little lifequake waking a person up to realizations where you could look at that little earthquake and say, poor me, right? His mom passed away, how hard it is, and people die, and it often brings us to a darker place, end of the world scenarios and things like that. I would say it like this: the little lifequakes are really a gift, because the alternative, if you think about it, when a person becomes completely consumed with themselves and their own needs, what can happen is depression, sadness. I mean, there's so many challenges can result from being self-absorbed, self-consumed. So the option, the safety latch of the little lifequakes really does serve us. And I think that that's an example. Very often we say in Kabbalah, everything is for our best, even if it doesn't feel like that in the moment. The light of the Creator is behind everything. So when a challenge comes up, let's say for a person is fired, right? How can you look at being fired and losing a source of income as from the light, right? All for your best? Well, you have a choice. It can be the end of the world. And it is an end of sorts. It's an end of a journey with that company, with those coworkers, whatever it is, with that product. But it's also a beginning. And the more you connect with the possibilities that emerge versus the possibilities that are ending, the faster you can receive the lesson from that little lifequake. So part of what the universe wants us to get this week is that those little lifequakes are for us. They don't happen to us. They happen for us. And if we can get those lessons proactively, and that's literally what Weekly Energy Boost is all about, being mindful of the situations and opportunities that come to us, because they don't come to us to punish us, to put us down, or because we're doing something wrong. Every challenge is really an opportunity. And part of the paradox of being a human being is that we are, on one hand, born, the essence of every human being is their desire. What do they want? Quality, quantity, where their intention is, where their desire is at, really is the expression of what makes each individual not the next person. That's what individuates us. And so some people get caught up in that desire and pursue what they want, losing touch with the fact that everything that we have in our lives, physical or spiritual, is meant to bring us again closer to the light of the Creator, closer to our true essence, closer in likeness to the light. So when we start pursuing things that in a way. In other words, you could pursue the same things with an intention of expansion, influence, transformation, and growth, or you can pursue it with consumerism. I want to accumulate as much as I can, as quickly as I can. That creates imbalance and actually draws negativity, which results in the requirement of a lifequake to shake us up and to wake us up. If we don't wake up, right, we don't allow the situation to serve it for the intention it was given to us, the universe then needs to come and hit us or shake us a little harder, time and time again. And that's why sometimes people can find themselves in what feels like a cycle of lifequakes. Things happening. Why is everything falling apart? Everything isn't falling apart. Everything is being shaken up because we're focusing on the wrong things. And usually the focus is on the self and not on the real purpose for which we came to the physical reality. So if you think about it in a way, and my teachers, Reverend Karen Berg, use this metaphor maybe even a little too much, but I believe it's because we forget it so easily, is that life is like an escalator. And an upward moving escalator. Downward moving escalator, sorry. Life is like a downward moving escalator. If we are not stepping up, consciously making an effort to go up, we're going to go backwards. So then you find yourself on the bottom floor and that doesn't feel good. But the reason is because you forgot, which is the nature of humanity. Don't blame yourself or be upset with yourself if you resonate with the behaviors I'm talking about. That's really the purpose for which those lifequakes are sent to us. They are sent for us. And as long as we can maintain that mindset of, I can pick myself up and keep moving forward, the purpose of this is to help me reflect on where I can shift gears, how I can change the way I'm approaching things for better. Then you get what you need from that situation, and the situation no longer needs to exist. So for all of us this week, as we enter the month of Cancer, which again can be an overwhelming month in terms of energy, if we remind ourselves proactively to invest more time in our dialing in, plugging into the light, and be more mindful of the little challenges that come up, to learn from them and grow from them so that the bigger challenges do not need to shake us up to wake us up. Weekly Energy Boost is on all podcast platforms, as well as YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. You can follow us there for additional content to support your implementation of what we talk about on every episode. You can also visit weeklyenergyboost.com to learn about all the things we talk about, to dig into our archives, and to send us a message, as well as support our podcast by clicking the donate button. In addition, we really, first of all, want to thank you guys for sharing these mini episodes. They are doing wonders, I would say, at least according to the feedback that I'm getting, these little bite-sized nuggets for people to carry through the week. And we'll see you next week for another weekly Energy Boost mini summer episode.